Hi guys, and welcome to the third part of the JackFrag's Counter-Strike Go overview video. So, having spent some more time playing with the beta, I think that I've got quite a good understanding of what the game's like at the moment, what I think needs to be changed, what I like, what I don't like. So, in this video we're going to be sort of reviewing the beta as it is at the moment, and I'll be giving you my thoughts on it. So yeah, let's just get right into it. The footage you can see here that's running at the moment is just from a 5v5 mix, like a competitive game that I played with some mates. And it's on Dust 2, of course. Most of the footage you've seen so far has been of Dust, but someone figured out a way to sort of, get the other maps working. So we thought, play a game on Dust 2, see how it feels. So, yeah. The last two videos looked at the weapons and the menus, the options, that sort of thing. And in this video we're going to be looking at general presentation. So first off, the HUD, or the heads-up displays. So that's your map, your armor, how many bullets you've got left. And also you can see at the top they actually added the number of players that are alive and dead, like in a certain round. So it's obviously slightly different to Counter-Strike Source. I actually really like that player thing at the top there. It gives you a really quick and easy way to see who's dead, who's alive. Even when you're playing the game or when you're spectating. So that's cool. It's a bit spectator friendly. General opinions on the HUD. I like it. I think it looks a lot nicer than what we have in the current version of Counter-Strike Source. But it's a little small at its default size. However, there's actually a command, HUD_scaling, and you can change the size of the HUD. So what you're seeing in this video is actually HUD scaling 1. So it's a lot bigger than the default, and I think I much prefer it like that. It's easy to see what's going on. So yeah, moving on to the look of the maps. All I've really seen so far is Dust 2 and Dust 1. Generally, in terms of graphics, obviously it's a big improvement over Counter-Strike Source. The skyboxes are much more detailed. There's a lot more stuff going on. There are new particle effects like the dust. There's props throughout the level that look cool, like the Humvee or the scaffolding. In general, it's just sort of, it's got much more personality, and it's way less bland than what we're used to with Dust 2 and new sort of real pale, boring colours. However, I do think that the developers need to inject a bit more colour into the game. It's not as bland as Counter-Strike Source is, but I feel like it could do with just livening up a bit really. But this, having like really cluttered, filled up maps, which look really nice, and they're cool for spectators, they're cool for people watching the game, but that doesn't really lend itself very well to competitive play. I think with all the stuff that they've got in the levels now, especially the smoke and the dust particle effects, which really, I don't know if they're broken at the moment or if they're supposed to be like that, but they're sort of very hazy at the moment. And say for example you were spotting Long Pit from up on the A bomb site on Dust 2, and there's like this weird haziness all the way down down Long. It's quite hard sometimes to sort of pick people out. Sometimes you can't see if it's a teammate. Sometimes it's very hard to aim at people because you're not really sure where they are. I mean, I really don't like that. So hopefully, when they release the full version of the game, maybe as an option, they can have, a war mode that removes all the clutter and all the particle effects. So, instead of forcing people to have like a massive FPS config where they put a load of commands in, they can just have war mode set and it cleans all the clutter up. So, that just lends itself better to competitive gameplay. So moving on to weapon models and animations. The weapon models that I've seen so far are generally fine. So are the animations on the guns, they look alright. The reloads are pretty cool sometimes. The only one that I really don't like is the UMP 45. It just looks really bland, and I think it just needs some more detail on there perhaps. Also, the AK and the Deagle take up a little too much of the screen for my liking. Of course, though, when they or if they had like a field of view slider, so you can change the field of view, that won't be such a problem. But at the moment, that's only available in SV cheats. The player animations. Now, this is one aspect of the beta that I really don't like. I think the player animations are pretty terrible. The running animation, it just doesn't look very good. The characters don't really seem to fit. You know, they don't really look like they're in the level. Especially like when the characters have their knife equipped, they sort of like hold their arms up as if they're, you know, about to eat like a Sunday dinner or something. It just looks weird. I really don't like it, and I think it sticks out. And yeah, they definitely need some work on the animations for the characters. Aside from that, you know, the overall graphics, I'd say it's probably the nicest looking Source Engine game, sorry, that's ever been released. Its closest rival is probably Portal 2, which is sort of very stylized and looks really nice. But they've obviously put a lot of effort into the graphics. It's a big upgrade over Counter-Strike Source if you compare the two. The motion blur especially, that's quite nice as well. So yeah, the graphics get like a thumbs up for me. Obviously it's not on par with like Battlefield 3 or, you know, Crysis 2, but as a Counter-Strike game it's pretty good. Okay, so that pretty much wraps it up for the presentation and graphics in CSGO. In the next video we'll be looking in depth at gameplay and potential tweaks that I think they could add to the game, changes that need to be made, and also my general sort of feeling about it. So stay tuned for that, that'll be coming up pretty shortly.